So picture this, it's 2001 and the internet is booming. Amidst all this, a programmer named Bram Cohen has a vision. He sees a way to transform how data is shared online. Instead of relying on centralized servers that buckle under heavy loads, he wants to create, well, a sort of digital community, a way for people to work together to move files faster than ever before. And so, BitTorrent is born.
And the beauty of it is how simple the concept is when you break it down. Take a big file. Think of it as a loaf of bread. Instead of handing the whole loaf to one person at a time, you cut it into slices. Everyone grabs a slice, and as soon as they have one, they start sharing slices too. Suddenly, that loaf is being passed around way faster than if only one person had to hand out the whole thing.
Exactly. Cohen's genius was turning this idea into a structured protocol. BitTorrent essentially turns your computer into both a downloader and an uploader, where everyone contributes to the swarm. It means files move around much faster than the old-fashioned one-at-a-time method of downloading.
Right, and what's fascinating is how quickly it caught on. By 2004, BitTorrent was already responsible for more than a third, 33% of all internet traffic. Just think about that for a second. A single protocol moving so much data, all because it made sharing so efficient.
It's incredible, isn't it? This innovation changed the way we interact with the internet. Suddenly, massive files like videos and games weren't a headache to download anymore. Everyone playing a part meant anyone could share in the load. And honestly, that's what made BitTorrent a game changer.
So, after shaking up the way we think about downloading and sharing, the real question is, why was BitTorrent such a revelation? What made it stand out so much compared to how we used to share files online? It all boils down to efficiency. Instead of relying on a single server to upload files to everyone, BitTorrent gets everyone involved. You're not just downloading, you're sharing at the same time.
And that's the key, isn't it? Let's say you're downloading, a huge video file. Usually it'd come from just one place, like a tap slowly dripping water. But with BitTorrent, it's like opening up a dozen taps at once, all pouring in faster. You get the file quicker, and more people can jump in without overloading the system.
Exactly. Faster downloads, smoother sharing, and it's not just about the speed. BitTorrent is democratizing in a way. Independent creators, think musicians, filmmakers, can put their work out there without needing expensive servers. I mean, imagine an indie band sharing their album directly with fans using BitTorrent. It's a win-win, really. Accessible for them and easy for us.
Yeah, or even universities, right? Some of them use BitTorrent to share massive data sets. It saves them a ton of bandwidth, which is huge when you're talking tens or even hundreds of gigabytes. It's practical, cost-effective, and, well, kind of brilliant, really.
Totally. But, and here's the thing, it's not all sunshine and roses. Because as amazing as BitTorrent was, it also became infamous. People started using it to share copyrighted content, like movies and video games, without permission. That's where the legal problems come in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen massive lawsuits over this. Some big-name torrent sites, like the Pirate Bay, became these central hubs for downloading stuff illegally, and copyright holders weren't happy, to say the least. Lawsuits, shutdowns, the whole nine yards, it's messy territory.
Right, and it's a shame because the technology itself is neutral. It's just a tool. But how people use it determines whether it's seen as innovative or, well, controversial. It's that fine line between innovation and exploitation.
And BitTorrent's always walked that line. On one hand, it's enabling creators and researchers. On the other, it's
triggering lawsuits. Exactly.
And that's what makes the story of BitTorrent so fascinating. It's this massive force for good in so many ways, but it's also got this darker side people can't ignore.
So, while BitTorrent's dual nature as a tool of innovation and controversy certainly made headlines, it didn't stop there. Its evolution continued, bringing forward some major improvements. One of the biggest game changers came with the introduction of BitTorrent v2. This update wasn't just about refinement, it tackled security head-on. For instance, it replaced the aging SHA-1 system, which had grown vulnerable, with the robust and much stronger SHA-256 for file security.
Right, and what's cool about SHA-256 is how it not only secures files, but also improves the whole user experience. I mean, the V2 protocol allows for quicker checks to make sure files aren't corrupted. Plus, it gives each file a unique individual hash. That means even if a file exists in multiple torrents, downloaders can still grab it efficiently, without any duplications slowing things down. It's just slick.
Exactly, but even with all these advances, there's still this elephant in the room: privacy, or rather, the lack of it. See, with BitTorrent, anyone in a swarm can see your IP address. And that's led to some unwanted attention, like copyright watchdogs or even malicious actors tracking users.
Yeah, and that's where tools like VPNs come in. By masking your IP address, you get that extra layer of privacy. And if you want to go even further, there are alternatives like Tribler. It's basically like using BitTorrent, but with a built-in anonymity network, kind of like Tor. It's for users who are really serious about staying under the radar.
Right, but here's the thing. It's not just about privacy for illegal stuff, you know? Legitimate users, like researchers or creators sharing their work, also value these privacy tools. It protects them, makes sure their data exchanges stay secure, and, fundamentally, gives people peace of mind.
Yeah, and this all ties back to the broader implications of BitTorrent. As a technology, it's such a powerful tool. On one hand, it's this incredible democratizer, letting indie artists, universities, or even governments distribute data without massive server costs. But on the other hand,
it's still tangled up in debates around copyright laws, right? It's tricky. You want to celebrate a system that makes data sharing so easy, but you can't ignore how it's also been used for, let's just say, less than legal purposes.
Absolutely. And that's the challenge moving forward. Finding the right balance. How do we embrace the innovation that BitTorrent delivers while tackling the legal and ethical questions it raises? Is it something that gets solved through technology, or does it need better legislation?
Or maybe both. Who knows? What we can say for sure is that BitTorrent has left a mark. It's made us rethink how we use the internet, not just what we can do, but how we do it. And really, isn't that the ultimate legacy of any groundbreaking technology?
It is. And on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. From its revolutionary start to its modern complexities, BitTorrent truly shines as a story of innovation, with a touch of controversy, of course.
Absolutely. And that's all for this episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay curious and keep exploring. Take care.